This is what all the fuss is about. Bow.
You've been waiting for it. I've been waiting for it.
The affiliates present
Trendsetter
live with Trendsetter Sense.
My man Q-Deezy.
What's up, bro? Come on, Sense. We've been doing this for a minute, bro. Like it's crazy because it's like you look up and you be like, man, I remember we was going to mix show power summits and all that kind of stuff. Bro, like, and we was kids, and it's like, now we grown, and
right.
I still feel like a kid, but you look back, you're like, yo, I'm doing this dude like more than half my life. You know what I mean? So it's, you call me, I'm here. It's all love, bro. Like I'm honored that you even thought of me to be on this joint, for real.
I'm honored that you decided to come to my show. So my show is called Dollars and Cents. With the pun with my name in it.
Yes, sir.
And all that good stuff. When we talk about, the business behind what we doing, the journey, all that good stuff, man. We just sit down and just have real comfortable conversation, man. And me and you both being from the city of Philadelphia, I want to get started right there, man. And I want to just talk about, like, tell me how Q-Deezy, originally now Quincy Harris, how the city of Philadelphia like shaped the brand.
Bro, it was aggressive. Being from Philly, this is not a sweet town. And I know about other towns, and it's a very blue collar town. It's a very, when we came up, very aggressive town. And you have to fight for everything. It's not just like, oh, because you're on the radio, people care about you. It's like, no, you really got to put that work in. And Philly's one of those towns that you have to, you have to show and prove. So for me, it was always about the work. It was never about, when I get this, I'm gonna shine like this. It was always, and Philly's one of those towns, like, you can't be here shining. Like, if you look at our stars, I don't want to put people out there, but for the most part, it gets too crazy for them here because people know how much money they have. Like, the athletes don't even go out anymore. Like, before, it was, you could see AI and everybody just like moving around. Like, this is not that anymore. So even just to be out here, it's not one of those towns where, like, you're pulling up and you got a Maybach and this person got me, and it's like a whole industry of everybody doing it. So it's like it's a town you still got to be mindful of trying to shine, and it's just about the work. So if you focus on the work, people respect you, and you can have a longevity, here, but still got to move. You got to move a little, a little proper out here. Like, you got to watch yourself. It's not sweet.
Right. What high school did you go to, bro?
I went to Lincoln Hall, part of Germantown. Yeah.
I almost went to Lincoln Hall.
Wow.
I ended up going to Parkway.
With on Germantown Ave?
On Germantown Ave.
Yo, my sister went there for 1 year, and then she went to Lincoln Hall. So then my mom was like, "Man, you going to Lincoln Hall?" So, because I got in the ENS, but on some real, like, my mom was like, "You ain't catching the sub down there," and you know what I mean. Like, my mom and dad was like, "We're there," but so yeah, I was gonna go to ENS, but they was like, "No, you going to Lincoln Hall." So yeah, went to
just
Lincoln
like
Hall.
that. It was this close. It was between Lincoln Hall. Then I thought about then my mom thought about McDevitt on some uptown shit.
Yeah.
And then I had a couple friends of mine that was a little older than me that went to Parkway, and they was like, "Yo, just come with us to Parkway." So I was like, "All right, I'm gonna just do that." Then I tried to do the Central thing, but in middle school, my grades weren't. I was a knucklehead in middle school, so my grades weren't on the Central. So, the Parkway thing was what it was. You know what I mean? So, talking about how Philadelphia shaped Quincy Harris, man. When you were a teenager or a youth, like, when did you realize that you first wanted to get on radio? Like, how did that come about?
Bro, it's crazy. Like, I had the plan. I was 12. I was 12 years old. My mom and dad bought me and my sister TVs, like 13-inch TVs, JVC, I'll never forget. And I would sneak and watch, like, late night TV. So I would stay up, and I always like Rap City. So I would sneak up and watch, like, Carson. And then sometimes he'll have, like, a rapper, like, every now and again. And then I would watch Letterman, and I would see like a little bit more rappers on there, but not really. And then I'm talking about just by happenstance, by accident, I turned to Fox one time, ironically. I turned to
Ironic.
Fox, right? And bro, I see Arsenio Hall.
Right.
And that was it for me. That was it. I was like, dog, he had Easy E, he had Shaq and the Fushnikins. It was like I was like, I want to do that. I never wanted to rap or produce. Or, I'm a little produced, but like I was like, I want to do that. And once I saw that, I was like, okay, I had a plan. I was like, all right, so I'm gonna go to school. I wanted to move to DC because I wanted to go to BET. I wanted to work at BET.
Okay, gotcha.
I had this in my head, bro. It was like already laid out. I was like, all right,
this is in high school.
Bro, this one I was 12.
You said right.
I was like, yo, all right, so I'm gonna go to school. Hopefully they got a college radio station. So when I went on my school tours, I was like, all right, I'm looking for a college radio station. And then I was like, I'm gonna be in radio, get some connects, and get the TV. That was my plan since 12 years old. Like school was never like, yay, I want to be here and I'm drinking in college. I was like, nah, I was focused. So my first year, I had to stay at Temple. I got accepted to 3 schools. I wanted to go to Millersville because my sister went there.
Right.
And I wanted to go to Morgan State because I was like, oh, this black college experience.
Right.
I wanted to go there.
Right.
And then I just did Temple because I was like, it's home. And my mom and dad didn't really have the money. They was like, yo, for the first year, because my sister 4 years older than me, they was like, yo, for the first year, she in school, you gotta stay at Temple. If you get in Temple, you gotta go to Temple for 1 year and then you can transfer. I'm like, so
that's like the Philly standard.
It felt like community. It was
right.
You know what I'm saying? So I was at Temple, and then like all my homies went to Temple from high school. So it was like, so now I was like, you know what? Nah, I'll stay. But my plan was, when I looked at the coursework, it was like you had to have you can only get an internship in your 4th year, in your senior year. And I was a freshman. I'm like, I'm going to be a sophomore. I'm like, yo, I gotta get in the radio station somehow. Me and my homies went to high school. They went to Temple. We go to Powerhouse, and we snuck backstage. And then I met Kobe, and that was the whole plan. Like I met Kobe. He played me a little bit. I was a kid.
Right.
And I sent my resume, and then I heard.
Well, hold on. What did you say to Kobe when you met him?
Kobe was getting off the stage, and if y'all know who Kobe is, he was a radio personality. He's a VP for Radio 1. Yeah. And he gets off the radio. I mean, he gets off the stage because he was hosting, and like, yo, whoever was on. And I came up to him. I was like, yo, Kobe, you know what I'm saying? My name's Quincy. I'm just trying to get on the radio. I go to Temple because I knew he went to Temple. I'm like, I'll go to Temple. I'm just trying to. And he's like, dog, just send your resume. And at the time, he just played me to the left. And you know, like at the time I'm like 18. So I had this dream for 6 years, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm the kid in high school with the Ron G mixtapes. I'm playing on back of the bus. I'm doing all of that. And then met Kobe's like, yeah. I was like, man, how we get down here? I snuck backstage. We ain't get caught. I ain't get caught. Like, I gotta figure this out. So 2 weeks later, I'm listening on the radio. They was like, yo, write a 99-word essay if you want to get into the radio industry. Wow. I'm like, they talking to me.
Wow.
Wrote the 99-word essay, go back to school. My boys is like, yo, I know Kobe's old counselor. He still talk to him. Give me your resume. My resume ain't had nothing on it. It was like, I worked at House of Bargain as a layaway boy, and I worked at Super Fresh. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how I got in, but I got a call, and then I never left. That was
wow.
Yeah.
So hold up, the 90. Do you still have that essay?
No, damn, no, I don't. I don't even know what I said, bro.
Man, you got a frame.
I know, but I had to. You know what? I had to mail it in. So it was one of those like you write it and you mail it in, and I got a call. It was crazy.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Because I'm just trying to think. You know how many people probably wrote essays in?
Yeah.
It was ordained. That's definitely. And you got chosen, so they call you in.
Yeah, they called me, and rest in peace, this great guy named Sean Skywalker. He was a producer of the Night Show at the time, and it was a lady named Nick at Night. Nick at Night left Philly, did Baltimore. Yeah. So I come in, and it was between me and this other guy, and it was like, all right, we like both of y'all. So you take 2 days, he take 2 days. We do Friday by ourselves.
Okay, so this is at WUSL, this Power 99.
Yeah, 440 Domino Lane. I'm coming up, and bro, like I just answered the phones first day. They just asked, and I didn't know nothing about radio. They like, yo, can you play? Let's just say, can you play this song? I'm like, oh yeah, we got it right here. Hold on. And she turned around like, no, we don't do it like that. Just because I'm like, no, it's right. No, I see it. I see the CD. It's right there. We can play
Right.
it. She was like,
Right.
Q, no, we don't. That's no. We just take the request. We have a list. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I was a knucklehead. The first day I was so excited. I called my homies on the warm line. She's seeing the board of me calling somebody. She's like, yo, what are you doing? Cool out. I was like, oh my, I'm sorry. And they let me stay, man. And then ironically, Kobe got the job 8 months later, and I begged him to stay, and he let me be his producer. And I worked with him for
So
20.
that's how so your first original job was being a producer of a radio show.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah, I was
Never
making
knew that.
20 intern / producer. I was making $20 a week.
What?
Bro, I wasn't even working for the station. I was like a volunteer. They was like, all right, you want to help? Cool. And then my man Skywalker, again, rest in peace, such a great dude. He let me spend the night at the stations with him learning the board. So I learned the board. I'm 18. All my friends are going to college parties. I'm at the station learning the boards and all of that. And so now I'm working with Kobe. I'm like, Kobe, I got it. Bro, you know, the 8 o'clock hour, I don't even think Kev was on. It was like this DJ Sonic was on. It was like, yo, I got something for you. 6 and 7 o'clock hour, you chill. 8 o'clock hour, you can go relax. What I can do is get the guest DJs for the 9 at 9 during the 8 o'clock hour. So I spent the night at the station learning how to edit. So now I'm making his job easier. He working 6 to 7. He got an hour to chill. And then 9 o'clock is the 9, is the 9 at 9. It was, bro, he's like, I'm paying this dude $20 a week. And he doing, oh man, I'm chilling. And I got to learn so much. I got cool with Kev, and me and his relationship just went, to another level. So yeah, man, it was something I would never got at school. But I stayed at school because I saw how crazy radio could be. It was like the mob. You come in one day, somebody be crying, like, what happened? Oh, such and such got fired. I'm like, oh, I gotta get my education just cause.
Right.
Yeah.
That is that's the other side of like the radio game. A lot of people like, you know what I'm saying? If you don't know, like this, it's like being a coach of a sports team, like it's in and out. You know what I mean?
And minus the millions.
So when was the first time, like you was saying you was the producer, you was behind the boards, but of course you made your transition to where people started hearing your voice.
Yeah. Dude, it was crazy. Again, Cosmic Kev, it was one of these people because he had a friend that had a video show, and his video show was so integral and like just, being from uptown, opening me up to different parts of the city and opening me up to the streets in different parts of the city. The video show was called VTV. It was this dude named Vance Daniels. His dad owned a cable company called Wilco Cable, and Wilco Cable had a what's it called, a contract with Philadelphia Housing Authority. So if y'all don't know about Philadelphia Housing Authority, that's all the projects, all the public housing. So he had a 24-hour channel on this joint. And he was like, yo, I see you. Yo, how about you? I ain't got no money. How about you, when artists come to town, you can interview them? I was like, all right, cool. I'm with it. We was going to the clubs. I'm with Kev. My first interview was Lil C's at
that was gonna be my question. I was like, what was your first interview?
It was Lil C's at Bahama Bay. You know what I'm
saying?
Bahama Bay, bro. And the crazy thing about the video show was it was in all the projects. It was in Raymond Rosen down North Philly. It was in 10th and Thompson. It was Richard Allen. It was South Philly. It was in Blumberg. It was everywhere. And it was like our Phillies on BET. So before I even got on the radio, cats knew me in some of the craziest parts of the city. They loved me. Like, oh, that's the boy Q. This Q-Deezy from the they didn't even know me from the radio. They knew me from VTV.
Okay.
So when I get my chance to be on the radio, they like, that's my dog. That's my guy. So I had love all around the city off of the video show. So I was already, and my boss, Helen Little, what happened was the video show would play on loop at a club at Brave New World, at the club that we
Brave
broadcast
New
live.
World. Yo,
Right?
hilarious.
I'm taking you back. So my, like, you know, hey, come on down to the club. Just when clubs would broadcast, you know, radio station broadcast at the club.
Right.
She's seeing the loop of me interview Exhibit, me interview Lil Kim. It's like, that's
So hold
Quincy.
up, who was booking these interviews, or how where was it coming from?
It was coming from Kev's relationship. Vance and Kev were cool. Vance would be like, yo, if they come into the station, we're gonna get them at an album release signing. So we'll come down and be the local video show. So I'm doing the interview. So my boss only knows me as behind the scenes for Kobe, but she look up, that's Q. He interviewing Exhibit, Lil Kim. Like, that's what's this young boy doing? And then they start giving me some looks. Yeah.
So what was your whole, like, when you said you interviewed Lil C's, like, did it come natural? Was you nervous? Did you feel like, what was it?
Bro, I was nervous, dog. Like, I was so nervous. I'll never forget my first time being on the radio. They gave me a shot off of seeing me on the video show. They was like, yo, because Kev would do the come up show, I would run the board for the come up show. So I would stay at the station from like 6 to 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. The host at the time had to take off. This night, they was like, all right, Kev, you could do it on your own. Kev was like, no, I want Q to host with me. I host with him. This is 1998. Bro, I'm like 19.
This prime Philly hip hop era right here.
Bro, first interview, Murder Inc. comes up. I'm interviewing Ja Rule, 1998, bro. Like, it was,
wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm nervous, bro. I'm like, I wrote my questions down. I'm like, a little birdie told me, like, I was so nervous. But Kev was like, man, you killed it, man. You did a great job. And you know what I mean? And that's what kind of got things like opening for me in the eyes of the radio. Yeah.
So let me ask you, man. Of course, being a master interviewer that you are.
Thanks, brother.
I mean, man. Bro, you on some Oprah shit right now.
Oh man,
the Today shows. Nah, man, you my man. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate you, man.
Someone love, man. Of course. So, like, when you go into your interviews, man, and you know that you have to have like a striking interview, and you know you have like a controversial artist. Like, what's your take on that? Do you like? Do you try? You don't strike me as somebody like, and me paying attention. Like, if you have to ask the hard questions, like you're like you feel like the Quincy Harris I get is like, well, that's part of my job. I'm going to ask them questions.
Yeah. I'm not. Yeah, because not knocking nobody else. I know people are doing it because they want to get that clickbait. They want to be that. But for me, it's more. Again, when I was 12, I got into it because I really love the music. I really love the art. Like, I love comedy. I really like a conversation. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's more about, let me show you I know a lot about you, and let's go deeper on things that I know. I try to put myself in the other person's shoes. Like, I know if it's going to be Ja Rule, or right now, people want to ask about Firefly, right? That's what they're gonna ask. Like, Firefly, what's up? Did you see Ashanti and Keisha Cole? What do you think about 50 Cent? Those are those questions they're gonna ask, right? So I try to come from a place where it's like, okay, dude, you're a father. You got a son that look just like you. Like, how is that? How has maybe some of your mishaps made it hard for him? I will go that way. And then I'll still have to come back around and do the questions that people want to know. But I'm more, it's because for me, it's like, it's not about where I work. It's never been about where I work. It's about the relationship, right? So I want people to be able to, like, no, I'm gonna stop. If I haven't seen you in a couple of years, they like, no, I know you. No, man, no, let me stop. And that's happened. Like, even Amari Hardwick, man, he came to Fox the beginning, like this before before Power. Okay. He comes to Fox. He was hosting something in Philly. We hit it off. I was like, dog, if you're not doing that, come to my radio show. He came to my radio show later that day. He comes back a year later with, the young lady he was co-starring.
With Tori?
not Notori, the his love interest, that I don't
Oh,
want to say side
okay.
chick. I'll forget
Yeah,
her
yeah, yeah,
name.
yeah. Well, I'm
You know
tripping.
what I'm talking about, right?
The detective.
Detective, right? So he comes back.
I can't believe I can't remember her name right now.
I know I'm blanking, but he comes back and he's like, yo, he's asking for me, like, is Q around? I'm like, I'm upstairs. They like, yo, Amari asking for you. I'm like, oh, because the connection. I'm trying to get a connection. Then we'll ask those questions because I got to do a job. But I'm more about basing it on connection, because if you have a connection with somebody, it's like, bro, you can get anybody. You never want to like piss people off to the top, and you get to the top and it's like nobody want to bang with you. That's, you know what I mean?
Mm.
So
What was? Can you tell me your toughest interview?
it's been a lot, man. I mean, I've had,
First one that comes to mind.
DMX. I remember DMX came. I just listened to his tape. '03. I found this tape of the come up show. DMX comes and bro, he's just cursing on air, bro. Like he's out of his mind. And he's cursing. And it wasn't even that, but he rattled me because he's like, he got, and he's just like, yeah, man, these niggas, man. I'm like, and I'm off. And it's hard when you're off, you're not listening. This still gets to me. You know about Radio Sense. When we say the number, we play some music. When we come back, we play the calls are already recorded. Right. So I'm talking to X, he's still cursing, motherfucker, and he's about to tell me something, but I was off. I wasn't listening because I'm just trying to get him out of there. He's like, yeah, that mother. I was like, all right, we got to go to the phone lines, 215-263-6699. Yeah, that. And I was like, ho, what you going to say? He's like, no, no. And I'm like, I missed that moment. You know what I'm saying? I hate when I hate doing interviews. That's why I don't like TV. I like TV, but I don't like TV interviews because they're so short. You can't get, you can only do 3 minutes. So it's like, what you're there for, me asking kind of one question and that's it. It's almost like, how do you get to a highlight reel? That's like you do a tip off on a basketball game. It's like, all right, throw it off the backboard. Like you gotta get your highlights in the flow of the game. And it's hard to do that when you're doing it in 2 minutes and 30 seconds, when you're getting it in 3:20. You know what I mean? So that was tough. A lot of even TV. I mean, it's you got to play a balance of the gotcha questions, building a rapport and relationship quickly. How?
Right.
And how do you develop and do that? You know what I mean? It's hard. It's hard. So yeah, I mean, I would say DMX off the top, but it's been so many.
It's been so many. So you mentioned TV, man, and let's get back into your journey, man. So
yeah.
You were, you're this new kid hosting this night mix show. This is radioactive, I'm assuming, right?
It was a come up show.
The come up, it was
but
radioactive before it
yeah.
changed into the come up show.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's the come up show. Then you get your shot, and then from that's when your radio brand, to my knowledge, you started to expand, and then you started getting other opportunities in other daytime shifts. Kind of elaborate that transition.
Yeah, it was every time I was trying to leave, they because I wanted to move to LA. I promise you.
I wanted to get it. I was gonna get into that.
Yeah, I went to LA the first time in 01 off of the radio, but I was like, man, I want to move to LA. Every time I wanted to move, they start putting me on more responsibility. First, I was with Kobe Cole, and then I was doing a come up show one day a week, and then they wanted me to be on the morning show. So then I was on the morning show, which like I didn't want the morning show. I wanted to be on the night show. I'm like, I'm young. I want to be on nights.
Right. You want to play all the new shit.
Yeah, that's when they get all the club appearances. I'm in the clubs. Like, that's what I wanted.
Right.
And they was like, no, we want you to do the morning. So I'm like, damn, I'm going to school.
That's actually a compliment though, Quincy.
Nobody wanted that shit. You don't want nobody. You 20 years old. You do not want to get up at 5 a.m. and you know what I'm saying?
Ahead of your time, man.
Yeah, I was like, damn. And they put me on the morning show. And the crazy thing was, I'm on the morning show with Wendy Williams, Kobe Cole, Wendy, D. Lee.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, and it was like, this is why I don't trip about life. Dots connect. They put me on the morning show and was like, yo, we want you to go out in the street and just come up with stuff. I'm like, come up with what? Come up with
That's
like,
what they said.
come up with stuff. Be entertaining. First 2 weeks, horrible. Then they were like, all right,
What happened in
well,
the first 2 weeks? Like
nervous. D-Lee was hating. D-Lee was hating, and you getting the real now. D-Lee was a fucking hater. He was hating. And because I was a young guy, right? And everybody knew me around the station for being energetic and funny. And he was the comedian on the show. So he thought I was there to, like, you know what I mean, take his spot. And I'm like, so every time I say something, and he would just like, this was my breaking point. He would joke on anything I would say improperly or just whatever, like, oh, he's stuttering, like live on the air. So, all right, got his ass. It was this is more the point why I cut my hair bald.
Yeah, because I remember you had the braids, you know what I'm saying?
So he said, I'll never forget, I went around the city doing something, and I asked people like trivia questions one day.
Okay.
And like I always had 3 hits. 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. If it was good enough, 9 o'clock. So there's like a 9 o'clock hit. I'm rolling. And I pull up to somebody. I'm like, hey, how you doing? I said, man, I got these tickets for whatever concert. You can tell me how many packs of dye does D-Lee put in his hair? They was like, he puts 2 packs of dye in his hair. I was like, 2? No, he puts 20. Wendy's losing it. Like killed him. He was pissed. So because now I'm like, because you know, I'm young bull on the air. You trying to sun me. So now I got his ass. And then what I started doing was, remember I was doing a video show in all the housing projects. I just started hitting my people up from the housing projects. So I'm like, yo, I did MTV Cribs, you know, the Blumberg Projects edition. Yo, I'm in Blumberg. I'm in 10th and Thompson. I'm in the hallway. I got people screaming. I'm like, it's dangerous in here. So it was like, shit was wild. So that was the thing that helped me. Like, it built me up in the city. And then the people thought I got my radio job from VTV when it was like I was always the background and then was able to do that. So then Wendy left. Thea, shout out to Thea. She was another important person in my career. She took me off the streets and put me on the morning show. So it was me and Golden Girl doing the morning show.
I remember that.
And then we did that for a couple years. Me and Kel kept doing it come up.
How old were you at the time? You had a morning show, bro.
24, 25.
Bro, you 24 doing a morning show. Do you ever think about that?
Not until now. I swear to you. It's because you know, I'm gonna tell you why, because it was never my goal. My goal was always to get to television. So it was like, this is cool, this was great, this is helping me get to where I need to go. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I was 24, 25. It sounds crazy even saying.
I mean, most 24, 25-year-olds are still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I literally went to school and was like, can we get this shit over with? Because I already, like, by the time I got my internship, I shouldn't say, well, I already got my degree. I paid them. My internship was literally my job filling out paperwork. Like, oh, he's going to intern here. Can you fill this out? Thank you. Because I was already working. So I never really had, you know, for what we do, I never really thought you needed to go to school. Maybe if you want to segue into other things later, like going back and teaching, but yeah, like I was 22, I was rolling. I was out. You know what I mean?
So, okay, you got the morning show. You 24, 25 years old. What year was this around?
Man, I got the morning show. Me and Golden Girl, they put us on 03, 04.
Okay.
So yeah, 20. Yeah.
Okay, because you mentioned when you went to LA.
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted to get into that. Like,
yeah.
What transpired in that?
01, Sixers played the Lakers.
Okay. You talking about the whole AI, that time period.
Big fire. Yeah, Big Boy was just always a big inspiration because I love the energy, how he's bringing on the show. What I didn't understand is like, you can't do that kind of energy in Philly. Like, it's a different culture, right? But I love what he was doing. Right. We called the morning show. We had a bet and he was talking trash to Wendy and Kobe. And he was like, yo, and I happened to be in the studio. He was like, yo, you know, I don't want to do the regular. If y'all lose, we'll do this. And if y'all win, we do that. He said, man, matter of fact, y'all, nobody won't even come to Philly. Why don't y'all just come to LA? Whoever want to come to LA, I got y'all.
Wow.
Wendy like, no. Kobe's like, no. I said, no, I wouldn't go. I'm cool. Yeah. He was like, who's that? I was like, it's Q-Deezy. Q-Deezy, come to LA on us. We got you, bro. Like I know you don't want to be in Philly. Like he's talking crazy about Philly. I was
Wow.
like, all right, bet. They fly me out. My producer at the time, shout out to Sarah, another important person. She sets it up to fly me out to LA. I fly out to LA after game 1. I get to game 2. This is my first time to LA, 2001. I'm 22. Dog, I ain't got no money. I take a cab. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dog, I gotta get a rental car. I wasn't even old enough to get a rental car. You remember at that time you had to be like 25 and
Oh
whoever,
yeah,
you
I
know what I
forgot
mean?
about that.
Yeah. So get out there, take another cab. Ironically enough, they was like, yo, your point person is Fuzzy. Fuzzy's gonna be your point person because Fuzzy worked with Big Boy. So Fuzzy's gonna be your point person. He gave me the address. I'm staying downtown. I take a, $60 cab ride to Burbank. I'm up there. Big's calling all these people from Philly. Like, oh, we got this boy from Philly here. Jill Scott. I knew Jill. Hey, what's up, Jill? It's Q-Deezy. Oh, what's up, Q? Yeah, I know you ain't Corrupt. Yo, Corrupt, it's Deezy. Oh, Deezy, what's up? So I know all these people he's calling. So
Hilarious.
during the break, he's like, yo, how old are you, man? I was like, I'm 22. He's like, man, what you drive up here? I was like, dog, I called a cab. He's like, how you get into the game? I was like, I'm gonna take a cab. We go out to eat, had a great time. Get back to the station. He's like, yo, what you want? A Benz or a Beamer? I was like, no, I'll take a Benz. Rented me a 600 Benz for the weekend. Like
Wow.
no credit card, no young dude, just go ahead. So I'm rolling around LA 22, you know what I'm saying? Go to game 2. I'm in the suite with Master P and his people. Like it was crazy. So I was like, oh, I need to move here.
Wow.
And I kept a relationship for, I don't know, like I kept a relationship. That was 2001. I kept a relationship for 6 years. And when I moved to LA, when I jumped, I was like, I left Power. Like I gotta go. Quit, moved to LA. My boss at the time, who was Thea, who I love, she offered me like 3 times what I was making to stay in Philly. Like, yo, I give you the morning show. I was like, I gotta go on this journey. Me and my girlfriend at the
Wait,
time.
hold up. You decided to just take that leap of faith without
Yeah,
you didn't even have no guaranteed offer in LA?
just save my money for a year. Save my money for a year. Had a big going away party. Me and my girlfriend rolled and was like, all right, it's time to go. Yeah, she my wife now, and yeah, we rolled. In 2 weeks, my boss she was calling me like, yo, I want you to fill in for the morning show because she got rid of the morning show that I was on because I left. And I was filling in. Then she was like, I did that for like a week. And she was like, look, Big Boy's taking over for the show. You should just give him a call. I was like, all right, cool. Didn't think anything of it. I was like, I had money saved. I'm like, I'm figure it out. Dude, Big calls me like a week later, like, yo, I want you to try out for my morning show. Because I'm on in Philly now. What I didn't know at the time was Thea told Big or his team, like, yo, if you want to be on in Philly, you got to hire Q. I didn't know that.
Wow.
So she covered me. Like she was like, all right, I had to make, and I didn't know this until years later. Like we had a dinner like years later. And I was like, yo, I'm such an idiot. Yo, you set that up for me. And I didn't know. And she's like, I couldn't have you out there with no job. Like she treated me, yeah, she treated me like she reminds me of my sister. She acts just like my sister. We get along so good. But Thea's like one of the biggest bosses in iHeart. Like she's, she runs the New York market. She's Charlamagne Breakfast Club's boss, and Elvis Duran's boss. Like she's a big dog. But one of her rises was stopping in Philly, and we had a connection, and she made sure I had a job out there. And then me and Big, knowing him for 6 years, he got to know that, like, oh, this isn't a guy that's just I gotta have on my team. He's adding value. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was
Damn.
it's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Man, talk about Quincy Harris, man. Talk about what was your biggest lesson that you learned to this point.
At just adding value, man. Like you gotta add value to people because you get so many people. We get so many people coming at us like, "Yo, can you do this for me?" It's like nobody's ever asking like, "Yo, how can I help you?" Or just helping like, "Yo, I thought you could use this, so let me hold you down." And it wasn't until years later where I was like, that's been a theme throughout my career. Like either people adding value to me or me adding value. Like if I would have took the VTV job and like, no, I don't want to do it because I don't want no money. I want some money. Maybe my boss wouldn't have saw me. Maybe she didn't see me in that light.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If I didn't get cool with Kev, like the way me and Kev got cool was pre-internet. I'm at Temple. It's cats I'm hanging with football players, basketball players. These dudes listen to Master P. This is 97, 98.
Yeah, that's about right.
Right? They listen to Juvenile High. So when Juvenile High was on Make It or Break It, I'm like, yo, I'm just letting y'all know this is a really big song. You know, so Kev was like, you don't know what you're talking about. So I'm like, so what we did with Kev was me and him, we got the same passion for music. I was like, all right, this is the third song I called, Kev. And you saying I ain't call it. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna write it down. Here's a sheet of paper, and I'm gonna tell you when I call the song and the date. So you can't say I don't know what I'm talking about, dog. Maybe like 2 months later, 4 or 5 songs that I called. I ain't saying I called everyone, but 4 or 5 of them songs was them joints that was in heavy rotation. So then he became like, I gotta listen to this young boy because he know what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Kev's taking me under my wing, me adding value to Kev. Me adding value, on the morning show when I was on the street, and then using my street connections when I was working for free, came back.
Right.
Me and Big Boy, the way me and him got cool was I bought a video camera. Shout out to my man Skills. I bought a video camera from Skills, and I was like, Big wasn't paying me a lot at the time. I was like, yo, is it cool if I record? Because I was on the East Coast portion of the show. I was like, is it cool if I interview some of these artists that come through? He's like, cool. Did a couple interviews, couple of them joints. I ain't gonna say went viral. They made it the world star. And you know how that was big back in the day. Like, oh, your joint making the world 07.
That's viral at that time. Right? Yeah.
So I was getting some of them looks. Big came to me like, yo, all right, I see what you're doing. Can you film some of this stuff for us? I'm like, bro, I got you. Say no more. I came up with different ideas. I'm like, I see your relationships with people. Let's do like remaking a video. So we did our first remaking a video. Cats would come in for interviews. We would do a music video with them. We did it with our first joint we did was Chris Brown. Second one we did was with Diddy. These joints went. They gone. Right. So me just giving, and then even with Big, I'm not saying it was only me, but if it was an artist that I knew, like a young Trey Songz, I'm like, dog, they are, yes, East Coast loves this dude. We need to, he may not be a huge star yet, but he's gonna be a huge star. So just giving that intel, texting, yo, here, not trying to shine, right? Not trying to outshine the master. Yo,
right.
Ask these questions, like ask this.
Really?
You know what I mean? Yeah. Just because I was deeper into the culture with some people. So it's like, why am I gonna be like the one like, hey, yeah, no, give it to I ain't tripping because I wasn't really, for me, it was all about TV. So it didn't matter. Like if he won, we won. So
right.
So even with that, and then when I came back to Philly, I was more in a mentor role, so just giving back and giving dimes to other people. You know what I mean? So it was just, I think it's just adding value throughout the career, man, and in your life. You start doing that. The phone, when you call people, the phone ain't heavy. Like, oh, that's mine. He don't never ask, whatever. I got favors I probably need to pick up, but I'm not tripping. Like, it's anytime I need to call anybody, it's easy because my mentality is not about me. It's about just, you know what I mean? Just giving other people and adding value.
Right. I want to go back real quick to your come up show days, man. And I want you to kind of talk about like handling controversy, man. You've been involved, especially Philly in a certain, like, you know, I can name one in particular.
Oh, come on, let's talk.
You know, the Gilly Beanie situation.
Yeah.
And that happened while you were on the air. I want you to kind of, you know, tell me about that, man.
That was that was crazy because I had somebody call me, right? And I forget his name, but he called me. He's like, yo, I got this man, this young boy. He just signed to Rockefeller, they Chris and Eve. And I was like, all right, man, let's bring him up. Cause I was a street guy, meaning like I was the one out in the street, out in the clubs, and Kev was like, I'm going home. And I understand now. And so he was like, yo, can I bring him up? I'm like, Kev, these dudes just got signed to Rockefeller. Let's bring them up. So it was like Chris and Neef, first time on the radio. It may have been PD and somebody else.
Okay.
What I didn't know, Chris had a beef with Spado. I didn't know. I had no clue.
Okay.
So Chris is up here rapping, and they like, he's only 16, he's only 17. Well, how old he was, right?
Right.
And he's coming at Spado. I had no idea. I'm like, I'm watching the show. Like, what is going on? Like, you know what I mean? Because I'm
like verbatim, or was it like just subliminals that only?
It was subliminals, but then it was like he may have said something like figures ain't major. I don't know. It was just like I started catching on while we doing it, like, oh shit. And I'm looking at Kev and I'm like, he's killing it, but oh man, this ain't right.
Right.
Spado calls up live on the air, on the hotline. So they talking. I'm like, shit. So now I'm like, oh my gosh. Like,
wait, who's talking? Spado and who?
Spado and Chris, because Chris is in studio. And Spado like, damn, dog, you coming at me like that? For real?
So who answered the phone? You answered the phone? Like, how did that go?
Yeah, maybe it was somebody was in, like, yo, Spado's on the phone. And I'm live on air. I'm like, yo, let's bring Spado in. All right, Spado wants to talk.
Oh, okay, so this is, okay, I got you.
So I'm like, all right, Spado, what's up, Spado? What's good? Chris, for real? No, you know how it is. And I'm like, so now you feeling it like, oh shit, this is not right. So then I'm like, yo, because you knew it would have been crazy for us, we had to let Major Figures come back the next week and respond.
Okay, of course. Whew. I remember this whole thing. It's just, I like how you're retelling it.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
such a bad idea. But it was a lose-lose situation, right? Because if you don't let them come back, then it's like we're playing favorites,
right?
Because they signed to Rockefeller, now you D-riding New York, and you only letting them because Jay is in. So now you like, no, we gotta let them. And I'm like, dog, we gotta let them come back up and respond.
Right.
Oh man,
right.
They come back and they respond, and they are losing their mind. Gilly was in rare form. He was losing his mind, right? So they rapping, and all they raps is just come like back then. You can feel it was like the Super Bowl. Like you know how you feel like you're not the only one listening to this. It was like, and I was in the moment, but I was out the moment. I was like, this ain't good, and this is a lot of people watch. There's a lot of people listening to this, right? Then Beanie calls. What you cannot, I don't even know how old I was, 22, 23, 24. I don't know. I'm like, I could not let Beanie come on the air and talk because we did it with Spado the week before. Right. So now Gilly and Beans is talking.
Right.
Oh my gosh. It felt like we wasn't even on the radio anymore. Like it felt like we was in the middle of the street and Cass is pulling out. I thought Cass was going to come up to the station. Thank God the station was where it was. Right. And you know what I mean? It was heavily policed. So it was like, so a lot of people don't know this. After that happened and they left, me and Kev ain't play music we played music. We ain't talk for the rest of the night. Because we could feel how big the moment was, and it wasn't a good feeling. Like we wasn't on some like, yeah, we went viral. Because it was never about that with me and Kev. It was always about the music. It was like, if you know Kev is not a talkative to everybody kind of. He's nice. He's Kev. He's a DJ. He's into his music, right? And that's how me and him built our relationship. And like, dog, we sitting there like, dog, this is not what we wanted the show to be. And it was like, it was a lose-lose situation, and we just felt bad. And then, a couple of weeks later, the incident that happened, with somebody dying, it was like, it was tough. It was tough because we couldn't do the the essence of street rap is battling, competition,
Right.
right? So we had to kind of like take that away from that element of the show because of what it possibly can do. Like Kev to this day doesn't play two Philly artists bad beefing back and forth because it's real. This is a real street town, bro. Like it's not. They ain't not rapping. They street dude. They reporters for real, for real.
Right.
They telling you exactly what just happened,
Right.
whether they did it or they homies did it, and then they putting it on music. Like it's not. These ain't artists. These are people telling you they pain. So that was a crazy time, bro. And I think we did that. The show was from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. I think we did that that happened like 11:30. So it was like that was on for like an hour. So from like 12:30 to 2, me and Kev just sat there like, bro, this shit's not good, dog. So I think we may have stayed at the station that night for like 4:30, 5 o'clock. Just like, you know what I mean? And it goes back to your other question, like, yo, like, it's about relationship. This is not, I'm not trying to be viral in a moment, you know what I mean? And before you can even go viral, it was like, dog, something gonna happen from this, and stuff happened. So and that kind of showed like the power of what we do. Because up until that point, it was really just fun. You know what I mean? For me, it was like, oh man, I'm playing records and you don't know about this record, and it was just fun.
Right.
But that was one of them joints like, oh, you know what I mean? Like it took a turn and it showed you the responsibility. I'm not saying this Philly, bro. If we would have did it or not, it was going to get out because they had like animosity. You know, those crews had animosity anyway. And it just there's not enough women in the city, so you know what I mean. It's like it was bound to happen, but you just wish it didn't happen with you being involved in it.
Right.
Yeah.
I just remember around that time. That's when I was in Atlanta, and that was so big that that even came down to where we was at, even down in Atlanta. Like I'm hearing your voice and I'm hearing you like mediated on air. Like I'm just hearing the whole thing, man. So
Thank you for saying mediate. I was literally talking, guys. I was just like, stop. I was pleading. It wasn't even a mediation. I was crying. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go back to when you back in LA.
Yeah.
Yo, I remember, man, you called me and you was like, yo, I don't know if you remember this, but you called me, was like, yo, I'm doing something in Atlanta. You came to the station in Atlanta that I was at.
Yeah.
And you was like, yo, I think you was doing something like you about to come back to the East Coast.
Yeah. Yes. I know exactly what you're talking about. That was in 2011. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So is this the transition going back to, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It was crazy because me and my girlfriend went out, my wife, and we had our first son, and she was like, yo, I want to move back home. I want to get closer to home. I'm like, why? My wife is from Virginia. So I was like, why? So we can have more family, around more family. I'm like, why though? Like, dog, you take our son to my, she's literally like hit me. I'm like, yo, I'm working. What you doing? Oh, I'm gonna just go read a book. I'm going to Malibu with the baby. I'm like, you want to leave that? Right. I say wintertime is 61 degrees out here. Like, why are we going? I don't want to go back home.
Right.
At this time, Kobe Cole was the vice president of programming for, he still is, for Radio 1.
Right.
For me a job.
Right.
Oh, I was
really?
like, yeah. I was like, no. I was like, no. He's like, no, I got an opportunity. I was like, nah, I'm cool. Thank you, but no thank you.
Was this back in Philly?
It was back in Philly.
Okay.
I was like, no, this makes no sense. Like, no. And my wife had everybody calling me. No, you should do it. You should. I'm like, for what? I just produced a movie in LA. Me and Big were doing other things outside. I produced a TV show pilot for him. Like, that was my main thing. Like, it was TV, but it was more like getting my ideas from a vision standpoint. Like, I'm like, this is cool. Like, no thanks. And then I talked to Tyrese. I'll never forget. I called, I'm not name dropping, but I called Tyrese and I was like, yo, man, what you think I should do? And he's like, man, you can't stay under Big forever. Like, how are you going to leverage a platform that's not yours? I was like, And he said that, and they called me back. I was like, fuck. I was like, all right, man, I'll take it, whatever. And I was pissed. Oh, I was so pissed. I was, man. So what I had to do was, because I hadn't been on the radio by myself in so long, they had me come to Atlanta and do an overnight shift.
Okay.
That's when I hit you. And Hurricane Dave came in.
Right.
And I knew what it was. It was like he wanted to see what kind of dude I was. Cause like and I was like, hey, what's up? And I never forget who's running the board. They was like, yo, it's this dude, he's running the streets. I was like, they was like, yo, his name's Future. He's killing it. Like, you heard the song? He's killing it. I was like, all right, but like I wasn't hype on him. I was like, all right, I mean, the song sounds cool. But I mean, they was selling it, bro. And Hurricane Dave came in and I stayed for like a day and I never thought anything of it. And then they called me, and then my first producer from my morning show was gonna be my program director, Sarah. And we came back to Philly in October of 2011. And I was like, I hated it. I didn't want to be back. Cause I was like, I came back and I was older, right? So I'm at the station and I got kids. Like, I used to listen to you when I was 12. I'm like, shut the fuck up, please. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just wasn't cool, bro. And I was in a weird space. I was in a really, I was a new dad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was at a new station. I was a leader now. It was like, it wasn't no Kobe Cobes or like no big boys to lean on. And then you got to remember when I was doing radio in LA, that shit was like a TV show. Like, we were across the street from the Tonight Show. So we had, and then Big Boy was, you know what I'm saying? Like, we had everybody. I remember I went to go see Inglorious Bastards from what's Homeboy's name? Oh, who did that? Quentin Tarantino, right? Yeah. This dude comes in the next day to the show to promote it. I'm the only one that sees it, saw the movie. So I'm up here. I got my own off the air interview. Like, yo, so when you did this and did that, he was like, yeah, I did. I was like, so did you mean this? So I'm having those kind of conversations. You walking down the hallway, you may see Nick Cannon just coming up to get records. It was LA, bro. Like, these people were just, you come back to Philly, mics ain't working. I'm like, yo, what is this? So I was in a weird space.
He said, what is this?
Bro, I was pissed for like a year, bro. I had to work on the weekends. I'm like, y'all got me work. I got to do my shift on the weekdays and I got to come in on Saturday. Come on, man. Like, what are we doing? So we started having parties. It was wild. So, but I'll say this, like how I said before, you never know how the dots connect. Me coming back to Philly in 2011 was so important because I was able to spend the last 6 years of my mom's life with her. My mom, she died of cancer 2017. So me being there from 2011 to 2017, she got to see 2 of her grandsons. You know what I'm saying? Like, she saw, me and my wife, be married, you know what I'm saying? And know that was going to be cool. Saw my sister and my niece. So that was the most important thing. And I'm thinking I was coming back for a job and all this shit. And I was coming back really to like be there with my, with my mom, with my mom and my dad, my dad's still living, but like, that was the most important thing. So sometimes in life, you just don't know why this stuff is happening.
Right.
I'm at the point now where I'm like, no, I get it. I'll find out later. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever I feel in my gut that I got to do, I'm like, okay, we'll figure that out later. I know why. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay. Back in Philly, doing the show, man. And then I don't know how long it was until this TV transition happens, and now you're Good Day.
Yeah.
Good Day Philadelphia, right?
Yep. Good Day Philadelphia.
Okay.
Yep.
So how did this opportunity transpire?
Again, and you know how we talk, man, it's relationships, right? So Jen Frederick, she's a reporter on Fox 29. Before she would come and cover stuff on Power 99, like, yo, y'all got Powerhouse, y'all got artists coming in, yo, come cover it. One of my old producers that worked on when I was on the radio with Golden Girl, she used to work at Fox. She was at Fox for a little bit and then did our show. So then she had a relationship at Fox. She told me in 2004, she was like, look, Diddy just ran a marathon. You're running a marathon. I'm like, I'm not doing that shit, dog. She's like, you're run. She's like, you're run. Her name's Sanjay. She's like, you're running a marathon. I'm like, I'm not run. I don't fucking run. I'm not running. No, that's Diddy. So within 3 weeks, we raised $50,000 for an organization. So then the TV station covered it. So I had to train for a marathon in 3 weeks. Jen Frederick covered it. She got Jen to cover it. Me and Jen gained a relationship. I talked to Jen even when I would come back home, all this different stuff. So when I moved back to Philly, she was one of the people I called. She's like, come back. We can run the city. I came back, and then they would have me on. So they would have me on the show, but I was dressing like a radio dude. You know what I'm saying? I got
right.
coming in, I got baggy shirts, and this stuff just didn't look right.
This is when the grown man Quincy started. Q-Deezy transitioning into Quincy Harris.
All strategic. I was like, so I went back and looked at the tape. I'm like, you don't look like you belong there. I was like real honest with myself. I'm looking, they got suits on. I'm like looking like just a guy. Hey. So then I called my man. Shout out to my man Will Patterson. He worked at the radio station with me. I was like, Will, you dress, bro. Like you really, you know what I mean? Like this dude would come to, he works at Saks Fifth Avenue now, like one of the top sellers, man. Great dude, love him to death. I'm like, Will, come on, bro. Like I need that. You know what I'm saying? Like what, like, you know what I mean? What is this? He was like, dog, easy.
He said, what is this?
Yeah, I need this. I need that, what this is.
Right.
He's like, dog, put a fitted shirt on. Like, make your dress shirt too baggy. Make that joint tight. I'm like, tight? Come on, bro. He's like, make it fit. And he was like, yo, go to tiebar.com. Get a little blazer from Express. Get like 2 of them. I'm like, all right. So the next time they called me, I was ready. I had a tight shirt. I had a, you know what I'm saying? I had the handkerchief.
He
I had a tie.
Shirt.
Oh, and my joint was, it was pronounced. You know what I'm saying? It was couture. So when they call me, I'm ready. Because it was never about it was never about my delivery. It was just like, it was the package I was delivering it in, right? Mm-hmm. So I came back, I was ready. Tie, I'm ready. I'm like, yo, can we take a picture? And I took a picture and it looked like I belonged there. So I'm posting pictures on Facebook. Instagram is new. I'm posting on Instagram. So Mike Jarrett is out one day. Hey, Q, can you do the 9 o'clock hour? Hell yeah, I could do the 9 o'clock hour. Q, we need you to, and Jen is pitching me, hey, have Q do it. So it got to a point where I'm on the TV 3 days a week, not getting paid, just up there getting a look.
Really?
So then I was like, this was probably like 6-7 months. People thought I worked there.
Yeah.
Then,
I'm like, oh, my man on TV doing this thing.
Yeah. And then I come to him after like, I want to say like 6 months. I was like, all right, this has been great. I love it. Can we talk about some payment? You know what I'm saying? I said it just like I went to Jen because she was the one that put me on. I didn't want to go over her head. I just wanted to, be respectful of the person who got me in. And she was like, you know what? Let me see what's up. She wanted to take off and they wouldn't let her take off because she didn't have somebody to replace her. They was like, Q, we're going to try you out for 2 weeks. I'm like, whatever. You give me 2 weeks, that's stop. And what I had to do was literally be on just like when I was on the radio. When the radio station, when I wanted to be on nights, and they put me on in mornings, and I had to go around to different spots. That's all I had to do. So now this was something I did.
You was already prepared for this.
Something I did 10 years prior.
Wow.
So when they gave me the 2 weeks, I'm like, it's on.
Wow.
And
were you nervous?
I was nervous, but when the camera came on, it was like, it's easy. Because I didn't have, like, the one thing, sometimes you can't get sarcasm on the radio. You know what I mean? Because sarcasm is like, I don't know who I'm listening to. Maybe I don't. But you could just look, and that look can mean like, you could be like, yeah, I love it. And that right there. But if I say that on the radio, it may not come across. Right. So for me, TV is easier. Radio, you have to explain everything that you are doing and why you are. TV is like, man, I could give you a look. So that was like, it was on. And then 2014, they had me on like every day, starting in May. They had me on every day on Good Day, paying me. And I was doing, afternoon radio. And then yeah, the radio station wanted me to do mornings.
Yeah,
And
I
I
remember
told
you went back to doing that.
I was, but
Or
no,
you
this is
transitioned
before.
to doing that. Yeah.
This is before 2014. They was like, yo, my contract was up. They was like, yo, we want you to do mornings because you getting paid the most here and you gotta do mornings. I was like, nah, I'm doing morning TV. Well, just have the radio station, the TV station bring TV in here. I'm like, it's not the same. I go out to different places.
Right.
I was like, my contract is up. What's up? What we doing? They was like, I was like, oh, they about to let me go. They flipped the whole format of the station. I
Mm.
was like, cool. And at that time, that's my mom was diagnosed with cancer. I was like, yo, I can't. I've always had to one or the other, and it has to be like a hard left or a hard right.
Mm.
And I always just had my faith in God. I was like, all right, well, cool. We had mortgage to, you know what I mean, my second son, just all these bills. And I was like, whatever. And I grinded at the TV station for like a year and a half. Like, yeah, like a year and a half. And was working just 3 days a week. And I was, doing other stuff, making sure, money coming in. And then they come to me and was like, yo, oh, let me go back though, because this is important. When I was in LA, I always worked on my career outside of whatever I was doing. So
Yeah. Yeah.
big during during awards show season, Cosmic Kev would come out and we would do interviews in my apartment.
Okay.
We would have Baby come to my apartment. We would have Lupe Fiasco perform. We had T.I. come over. We had Ray J perform, like all these different people. And what we were trying to do was trying to pitch a TV show. So the way my apartment was in LA was it was a loft. It was like a high loft. So Kev would be a DJ over the loft. And I literally wrote out the show like, all right, we're going to do a live read so they can know about sponsors. And we'll have celebrities on the screen. And I would tape something with them and I would talk to them when we do it and edit and post. And then we would have like a celebrity come by and do an interview or performance. So we shot that in 2008. We did like maybe like eight episodes. We pitched it to Comedy Central. They turned it down. And I was like, all right, well, I guess I just figure out some other stuff. Fast forward to when I'm working at Fox, 2016, they come to me like, yo, we want to do a TV show on you called Q or the Q. Come into the studio. Let me show you. We want to have a DJ up there, and then you're right here. It was literally like my show that I did in my apartment in LA 8 years prior.
Wow.
Verbatim. And he's like, are you okay? Are you in shock? And I'm like, no. And I was like, God is, wow, I understand. Like, you just got to keep working on your craft, training in the gym. And sometimes you too early on stuff. Sometimes the timing ain't right. Sometimes, you know what I mean? Sometimes you just need to. And then 2016, we launched my TV show. And it was basically the same format, just in the studio.
Yeah, bro. You really be on your Oprah shit for real.
No, thanks, bro. I appreciate it. It's crazy, man. It's one thing you may not know. I quit Fox 3 months ago.
Really?
Yeah, I quit because again, it was time to go. Like for so long, this has been my dream. I'm trying to get the TV like since I was 12.
Right.
And TV has changed because technology has changed. Like we literally can do this anywhere. Like, bro, I'm like making sure my kids don't scream because they some loud, you know what I mean? But you can get the same quality anywhere. And I've always been a person of I'm more business than I am in front of the camera. I always look at like, okay, I know how much they paying me. I'm sneaking and I'm talking to all the salespeople. Like, how much they getting paid for that? How much they getting paid for that? Oh, that's how much that is. Oh, they paying them that. And I'm seeing how much I'm getting paid. And why have all the stress and not have all the bank? It's gonna be stress with whatever you do. I would rather just make sure I have a bigger piece of the pie.
Right.
So it was like, again, jumping out on faith, but just being strategic. Like, I know how this goes in my life. Like, I've just told you everything. Like, I've left here and they offered me this. And I was like, no. And I went here and I said, no. Oh, and then the radio station came back when I got my TV show. And I made them pay me double. I'm like, you got it. And they built me a studio inside the TV station. And I was like, I'm just going to do this to get my money back because y'all should have never let me go because I told y'all should have let me do radio and TV.
Mm.
And then I was like, all right, I knew it was only gonna be a 2-year contract. I was like, they not gonna re-up because it's not gonna make sense for them because I'm not gonna do anything they want me to do. I got a TV show.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be out at Boost Mobile for no little bit of money. You know what I'm saying? I'm more business, so you're gonna pay me.
Yo, you crazy.
I'm just since we gotta make sense. So I'm just like, it gotta make dollars and cents. So that's why I was like, nah. I'm gonna get this money because y'all owe me this money because this is just money. This is retribution for y'all having to come back to me.
Right.
And that's what that was, man. And yeah, and I left Fox because it was like, I'm looking at people like academics. You know what I'm saying? I look at people like Joe Budden. I look at like,
okay.
Oh,
so I see where you're going with it.
Yeah, it's no reason why. And then for me now, I'm just gonna be quite honest with you. There's no reason why I can't make the same amount of money in advertising in Philadelphia alone that a Fox makes or a radio station makes. I'm not gonna name a radio, but you know where I'm going. Like, I know I can make that.
So then that leads us to fact.
Yeah, yes. A frequently asked questions with Fuzzy and Quincy. So Fuzz is a great friend. Like I told you, I've known Fuzz for 20 years. You know, we would hang out a lot in LA. And he come to Philly. That's my guy. He come to my crib. Like my kids know him. Like it was just natural. And he said to me, like, yo, dog, let's start a podcast. And I was like, this makes sense because it makes sense. I was like, it makes sense because, you know, me and Fuzz get along. We already have a relationship there. I won't have to work as hard on trying to get talent because Fuzz is in LA. He knows everybody. Like, I only have to focus on that part. All I gotta do is focus on my part, the technical side, focus on the production, where we're gonna go with this. He stays in his lane, I stay in my lane. We meet, we have people, my producer, my former PD, she's a producer on the show. Sarah, who I was telling you about throughout my story. We got an editor and we rocking, bro. Like, it's not
look good, bro.
Thank you.
Real good.
Thank you.
Look real good. I like how everything's set up, the visuals, the marketing, the promo, the interviews.
Thank you.
Good, bro.
Thank you, man. And that for me is just like it's more business. I think we're going to start seeing, or the future of our business is more about, you know, independent. Like, people don't want to be sold from companies anymore. Like, people won't stay on TV and watch 4 hours of the news straight, but they'll watch somebody on Twitch. They'll watch T-Pain on Twitch for 5 hours, or they'll watch Soulja Boy on Twitch, or academics on Twitch, or somebody. Like, you look on our Instagram live, or you look on Instagram, everybody's going live. This is what we do, bro. This is our time. Like, we do this.
Right.
There's no reason why we can't implement this for ourselves.
Right.
And not even cross-section. Like, me doing this ain't gonna hurt your pockets. You doing this ain't gonna hurt my pockets. Like, we all can win and eat.
Yeah.
And I think advertising dollars are going to go in that lane. I was reading this article that said in 2019, this was another big thing. In 2019, $60 billion of advertising dollars was spent on live streaming. Only 59 billion of those dollars were spent in China, only 1 billion in the US. So by the end of this year, that means every social media platform is going to have abilities or capabilities for me and you and everybody else to be able to be their own functioning TV station, their own functioning, because they want you to stay on the app more, and they want you to create more, and they want our people to stay on there more. You know what I'm saying? So it's just it just makes more sense, bro. So why not get a piece of that?
Quincy Harris, man.
Saying.
I appreciate you for sharing this platform with me, man. And,
bro, come on, man. It's an honor, man. For real.
Been going on this journey from the upstart, doing the video show, to being a producer, doing the night show, then getting the morning show, going to LA, coming back, going back to Philly, getting your own TV show. then now you have your own podcast, bro. Like you are a media mogul for real, man.
Nah, thank you, bro. I'm just like, we gotta get it, man. We gotta get it for ourselves, and there's nothing stopping us but us. So we gotta we gotta take it over, bro.